Welcome to the walkthrough for Consumer IQ by Zirca Digital Solutions, a combination of behavioral data, psychology and primary research. Consumer IQ provides a colorful archetypal view of the Indian digital universe. In this video, you'll see how this tool balances detailed information on archetypes with suggestions to target them through nuanced creative and media insights. Let's say we are creating a media plan for an SUV. A typical target group would be audiences aged above 25 years, both male and female. On the audience page, let's first key in the campaign details and the TG's age and gender. Next, we use the Select Audience option to define the audiences further through three key filters: interests, which are content consumption keywords; product, which includes product consumption categories; and personality, the set of 8 archetypes that encompass the digital audience. The personality-based option comes into play if you know the archetypes of the audiences. For now, here's how you create a media plan using the product route. The product consumption data on Consumer IQ is sourced from Target Group Index or TGI. TGI is a panel-based survey by Kantar Research with information on 400+ product categories and several attitudinal statements. Consumer IQ is the only tool with an exclusive instance where we have archetypes data linked to TGI data. The first thing we'd like you to note is that you can build up to 5 queries in this section. To the right are 2 data points, sample and universe. Without any filters applied, the total Indian digital universe is a sample of 1691, along with the estimated reach of 398 million. Add filters to define your audience and you'll see the sample and universe change automatically. Let's begin with query 1. Given our product is an SUV, we wish to target existing car owners. Let's select the motoring option within the first category drop-down. We then choose cars, jeeps, vans, SUV, MUV and arrive at car owners. After choosing the next 2 variants to define the audience even further, we see that the sample has now reduced to 369 with a potential audience of 86 million. Let us now add the second query. Query 2 opens up the operators OR, AND, NOT OR. Each operator has a Venn diagram to depict how the sample modifies for you to make the right choices. Query 2 is audiences who intend to purchase a car. Select the same category of motoring, but now choose the car buying option and complete the query. The tool alerts if the audience definition is too narrow. Here the tool alerts us that the sample has reduced below the desired level of 50. This is because the operator selected is AND, which would generally reduce the sample. We can either change the operator or add up to 3 more queries to overcome the low sample. For query 3, since an SUV is also about long-distance drives, we can go beyond the motoring category. We then select audiences who have gone on holiday within India in the last 12 months. The sample and reach have increased. For query 4 and 5, we look at the behavior and attitude statements in the lifestyle category option. Since we just built a query based on travel, related statements about travel would refine our audience base. We select audiences who enjoy planning holidays. The sample increases further. For the last query, we choose another attitudinal statement which is travel related. That is, audiences who go on holiday at least once a year. We are finally up to a sample of 968 with an estimated reach of 227 million. Hit Done. Return to the audience screen and proceed. Archetypes. This screen shows the recommended archetypes that are most likely to resonate with your messaging. Here the tool recommends 5 out of 8 archetypes. Switch between the highlighted tabs to read about them in detail. This includes total universe and all audiences within that archetype basis your product filters. We have a description. category affinities defined by SKUs, demographics with age, gender, and NCCS classification, and personality keywords that define the archetype. It is possible one of the archetypes recommended does not match the persona you seek in your target audience. You can deselect that archetype and select an alternate. For example, if after viewing the keywords within conformists, you feel the personality of these audiences do not meet your client brief, you can deselect conformists. You will immediately receive a notification. Not to worry, you can still proceed. Now, let's say you want to select another archetype which isn't recommended by the tool. You will find that for archetypes not recommended by the tool, only the keywords appear. This is because Consumer IQ emphasizes psychographic matches with the brief instead of just demographic ones. Select Mavericks and unlock the archetype details. Now that you have arrived at your archetypes, let's proceed further. Next, you select Categories. The category screen shows content, metadata, and affinities. These insights can be used by account planners, marketers, and creatives. The category selection is based on these fundamentals. Avenue, the type of platforms featuring within the category. Type, the creative most suited to the archetype. And formats most relevant to the archetype. SKU, likelihood of the archetype consuming that category. Higher the SKU, higher the likelihood. It is also possible that one category appears within more than one archetype. This is the true power of Consumer IQ. Let us take finance as a category, which is featured within Spotlighters and Thinkers. Under Spotlighters, the creative format recommended within the finance category is video. Whereas for Thinkers, the tool suggests image, infographics, and analysis. This is how Consumer IQ provides insights for differentiated creatives to deliver the same message. And yes, you must select relevant and offbeat categories to ensure you reach audiences across the web. Use the SKUs to make the appropriate selections and proceed to subcategories. This screen links the content affinities to subcategories of destinations. Our selection here will lead to actual websites on the next screen. The metrics shown here are reach and RDM. Reach is the actual number of users within the subcategories. RDM or reach depth multiple is a combination of reach and time spent to indicate engagement of a platform, subcategory, or a category. The other column here is about the match. Subcategories are classified as primary and broad match. Primary match refers to the categories we selected in the previous step, and broad match represents the rest of the categories. The user can deselect categories within primary match given the TG or brief, example payments. The broad match lets users ensure that their media plans feature categories and subcategories with relevant choices for their TG and messaging, filtered by relevant metrics. After selection comes the last step, the list of websites recommended to be part of your media plan. The websites and metrics listed here are from ComScore. Apart from unique visitors and RDM, additional metrics covered here are percentage reach and average time spent per visitor. This data can be sorted from highest to lowest on any of the metrics. Consumer IQ is the only tool that recommends destinations based on mindsets. Just look at the variety of websites before you. From leading news networks to regional news channels to new media destinations, it's all there. examine the RDM advantage. Typically, media plans select websites based on reach. However, when we filter destinations by RDM, a different list emerges. If we look at unique visitors only, Network 18 is more than thrice the size of Economic Times. But wait, when we look at RDM, Economic Times would be more than twice that of Network 18. This is a very different conversation for planners and publishers and a game changer for brands. You can choose up to 50 destinations to be part of the media plan. Once you have selected your websites, we complete the media plan. Content Plan View. The Content Plan View is a roundup of the plan you've just put together. It's viewable in two downloadable documents. PDF download. Ideal for creatives, this document contains the summary of the query, archetype selected, archetype suggested, and category SKUs with creative recommendations per archetype. CSV download. CSV is a document where all the website destinations are listed with key metrics like reach, RDM, percentage reach, and engagement. Perfect for the media and campaign planner. In conclusion, Consumer IQ is a must-have tool that makes creative and media planning scientific and research-based. It empowers you to target audience mindsets, know their category affinities, and the destinations they are most likely to frequent. So, you can deliver differentiated creatives to the same target group with better resonance and eventually better ROI. Thank you and happy campaigning!